Hello, hello, hello. It has been a little while since I've picked up my camera yet again. As you can see, my hair is out of control. My beard is out of control because, as you know, the world is on lockdown. Fortunately for me, well, I guess fortunately for me, meh. I work in retail now, as you guys know, and so there's a essential employee list, and I'm one of them. So I have been working, but I wanted to kind of give you a little rundown of what I've been doing. So first things first, I have not heard from Delta, unfortunately. I don't imagine I'll probably hear anything until after all this is over with, now that it's gotten as bad as it has. I also applied to a few other airlines, and one of which has responded and has also invited me to do a video interview. So I'll be doing that soon. I don't really know how I feel about that specific airline, just because it's not Delta. I hope that's not bad to say, but I think if I'm going to do it again and go through this whole process, I'd rather do it the right way. So anyway, so that's kind of like what I've been doing. I also took a leave from work because of the virus, so I am on a 30-day leave, and I will be spending my time designing. So today I actually worked a half day and came home, and even though I was tired, I want to start building my portfolio up just in case all this kind of doesn't work out with the flight attending thing. I can go to school and actually fulfill that kind of project, I guess, of mine. So I've been working on ideas for my portfolio, and of course, what better inspiration than the now? And so I was super inspired by the coronavirus and the plague doctor, and it's kind of weird, but I just wanted to show you my process. So as you know, I use recycled materials. This is a pile of clothes, literally all, as you can see, black, and some unconventional fabrics and materials and belts and stuff. And so what I come up with, I'm going to move this so you can actually see it, is this lovely little thing here. So I'm going to try to get it as best as I can, but it's so dark. I wonder if I move her, if you can see it better. Yeah, this, for some reason, this is the strangest room ever. There is no ceiling light. So once it gets dark in here, I have to turn on a whole bunch of lamps, and it's just like meh. But so this is the design. These are a couple of interesting things. So all these are just swatches of all these different trousers that I cut up. And I'll be putting those all together to make this. And these are lightweight fabrics that I cut up that are black, that I'll be using to make the base of this garment. I know it's a little kooky, but it's supposed to be for a portfolio, so I actually got this off of an old suitcase. I thought it was rather fitting, and so I'll be putting that around somewhere in the neckline, and I'll be using like PVC plastics to cover up certain fabrics to give them a shine. And I had this piece of recycled fabric. It's like a wool blend, and I'll be playing with the neck and the arms and the bottom of the hemline. And these come off of like an old duffel bag. I've got another set over there, but this will be the center centered. And I thought, what better way to use this virus as an inspiration than to kind of play with mesh and yarn, because under a microscope, this is kind of what a virus looks like. So I'll be making this, and I will be taking you guys through the entire process. And I think it'll be cool just to see how I go about making things. And since I have nothing better to do for the next 30 days, why not cut some fabric up and sew? So that's what I'll be doing. But in the meantime, I'm gonna go to the store and get some stuff for dinner. And I will see you guys in the near future and let you know how this other video interview goes for this other airline, and possibly how this process turns out. So I will see you guys soon. Bye. Can we just discuss how beautiful this day is outside today? Ugh. I miss being up there, but this is quite a nice little view from my studio space. But anyway, I wanted to jump on here and show you guys all the stuff I'm about to cut up and use for the process of making this guy. This is the jacket I was telling you. I had a couple of jackets, so I'll just show you really quick. So I have this jacket, and I have another jacket. I have a few aprons. These are lightweight trousers and shorts for the base of the garment. This is the supplemental wool that I had. A couple of belts, woven belts, this netting material from a basket. And I have a couple of like PVC plastic kind of bags that come with your bedding when you buy it. And then these are all your heavyweight pants. So all the different colors. So basically what's about to happen is I'm going to cut up the garments or take them apart, try to recycle the things that I don't use. So if I'm not going to use a zipper, I try to keep the zipper. If there's like buttons and things of that nature, I can keep it and put off to the side. So what I decided to do is kind of, I'm not going to be able to film all of it because that takes forever, but I'll just show you once it's been done. But today I'm going to start by disassembling the heavyweight fabrics just so I can make the trousers from the look. So the trousers are going to be made from the heavyweight fabrics. And so they look sort of like this, and I'll make some patterns, and I'll be using her to make those patterns. But yeah, so this is where it all starts. I just kind of gather a whole bunch of clothes that are donated, fabrics I had in the past, and come up with an idea and find things that fit that idea. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. But I'm going to start with the heavyweights over there and get to seam ripping and cutting them up, and so you can see how I organize the fabrics and which ones I'll use and which ones I don't, and the rest I just put off to the side until it's time to disassemble those. But anyway, step one is away. Bye. So my hands hurt really bad now, but I turned the heavyweight fabrics that I showed you into this pile of scraps, which I can't use. So basically the process includes taking the thick fabric, reducing the thick and bulky things like the pockets and waistbands, and then taking them all down. So now I have a pile of small scraps, larger scraps, and medium-sized scraps, and a few goodies that I've recovered, which is some pockets, cargos, pocket flaps, front flap zippers, and buttons. And so basically now I will drape a pair of pants that will look like the drawing. And once I drape those pants, I will then combine all of these pieces in an interesting, meticulous way to create the pair of pants. So stay tuned. Okay, so I know it's like super dim in the room because it's getting dark, but I just transferred all my videos because I had no room left to even explain what I did today. Anyway, say hi to Mo. Hello, Mo. So what I did today is I showed you guys that I tore apart the different like types of trousers that I had. And what I did is I drafted on the dress form as I said I would. I'm just going to give you an example. I don't know which one this is, but okay, so this right here, I'm just going to kind of pin it here so you can see it. It's called a muslin, and if you don't know what a muslin is, it is a mock draped form of pattern, which is made out of a cotton fabric, light cotton fabric, to mimic the design. So this is the drape. Now I know it's super dark and you're not gonna be able to see it because the room is, but this right here is the muslin, right? Okay, so it's basically like, you can see all my markings and like measurements, and I wish I would have had the footage available to show you how to do that, but it's kind of a long process anyway. But it basically just includes me taking the muslin, ripping it apart, measuring the dress form, and creating this. So I created this, and this is the front actually. And from the front, what I did is I separated it out into 3 panels. And so as you can see, there is a side front, a center front, and a right front, which is where the crotch line is. And then I created a waistband and the back. So this actually is just the pants to the look. That look, again, So this is kind of like the center panel I was referring to, the left and the right side of that. I'll be taking these over here, which are very dark, but you can't see them, and I will be putting them together in a interesting way. Let's see if I can show you the difference in color over here where there's light. But so basically this is like a whole bunch of different pants. So they have a different quality to them, each one of them. So some of them, like this one's a lot lighter than the rest of them. That one's a lot darker. And I'm going to try to piece them in a way where the darkest goes towards the bottom of the trousers and the lighter goes towards the top to keep the model looking elongated. Of course, I used the help of this lovely draping book, which I was like, my God. But yeah, that's what I did today. And so I've been working on that. The other airline, oh God, I can't even talk about it. So I found out that this other airline is reserve, straight reserve. And as much as I like the idea of going back to flying, I'm nervous about it being straight reserve again. I'd rather get with the other airline I love because it's not straight reserve. But I'm like, do I want to not do this and then end up hating myself for not trying? So I think I'm going to go through with the interview probably tomorrow. And we'll see how that goes. But in the meantime, as you can see, I'm steadily working on building my portfolio because school might be in my horizon. Who knows what will happen? A lot of my friends and coworkers and stuff had told me that they probably think that it's a good idea if I just go back to school. But I truly miss flying. I just don't think that I had the great circumstances. But anyway, that's just kind of a rundown of what happened now that the footage is available on my camera. And as I move forward and cut things up and do things out, now that I have the availability, I will show you everything, I promise. So I will see you guys soon. Bye. Hello everybody and welcome back. I wanted to show you guys the next step in the process really quickly. I know it's really dark in here, I'm so sorry. Literally all I have is one window and one lamp. That's it. There's no ceiling light until I can get one of those giant ring lights. But basically what I have done is I have taken each piece of those trousers and I've squared them off. So anything that was like extending out or, you know, not leveled, I took off. And essentially what I did is I took them, I was going to show on the table, but it's a lot easier to show you here. I took them and laid them out kind of in, thanks Mo, in length and also color. So it goes from like the lightest to the darkest side of the pattern. And what I'll do is I'll lay them out and try to get as much bolt. And so what I'm about to do is sew it together and I'll show you what that looks like when I'm done. So each piece will be sewn sort of like, here's some examples side by side right here and right here, and I'll give you a little sneak peek about that, how I do that as I'm doing it. But yeah, so that is the next step in the process, is to make the fabric. So see you soon. Okay, so the first thing I do is, like I said, I'm gonna take these two pieces of fabric, the right sides are together, and I am sewing them at 1/2 inch. And once I get done sewing them, I am going to serge them using the Singer Serger Pro Finish machine, and that will finish off the edges. And then once all the seams have been sewn and serged, I will then press them all and make one bolt of fabric. Okay, so now that all the seams have been sewn together, it's one big piece of fabric. I am going to run the seams through the serger, and I am going to finish the seams off and then press them to prepare them for cutting. Okay, so besides the fact that doing that, my ironing board got cat hair all over my black fabric and I'm gonna have to lint roll it, I am now going to top stitch the seams that I've pressed and serged, and so the serge seams look like that, and that's this machine that does that for you. I will now press them, or not press them, I will now stitch them in place now that they've been pressed so that they stay flat, so when I cut them they don't roll or anything. So I know it's kind of hard to see because the light is so not good, but basically the seams have been top stitched and it's also been ironed so that they're all flat, and it's just this one long piece of fabric. So now the challenge is going to be taking those patterns, hanging in paper, and see how I'm going to be able to get what out of this. And I may not be able to do exactly the way I want to do it, so we'll see. All right, so everything is cut out. I'm sorry I had to keep it at this angle, but you will not be able to see it if I don't because of the lighting. So a few things had to change. Obviously nothing is sewn, it's just pinned and tacked in place. But this will give you an idea of the fabrications and how things ended up looking with the top stitching as it was cut. So it does give it an interesting seam line. One thing that did happen is the length of the garment was, the pattern was too long for the pieces of fabric I created. So I had to improvise, and I decided that I liked the idea of having the inside panel the same as the design sleeve. So the sleeve and the neck piece here are the same fabrication. It wasn't included in the drawing, but because it was so light, I figured that that was probably a good choice. The length was an issue, so I went with more of it at the hem. So now they'll just be these big bulky cuffs, which I think really will look well with the giant sleeve that I was going for anyway. So that is a day's worth of cutting and sewing and serging. And so I'm gonna go take a break now, and I will finish this bad girl tomorrow. So bye. Okay, I was supposed to film the entire process of this, but it ended up being a very challenging process. So as you can see, the pants have been sewn together. Here is some of my top stitching in the sort of sewing that I did. I have a few things like where the pins are that still need to be tacked by hand. Let's see if I can get a better, take it off of this and put them on the ironing board, because that is where you'll see them better. But yes, so essentially, this is the back of the pants. I put the zipper in. This is actually a recycled zipper. As you can see, it still needs to be hand sewn, and I need to hook an eye. But overall, I'm actually very pleased with the stitching that came out. They actually look quite nice, but see here I have to hand sew the bottom of that zipper. The front has the kind of open slats that were designed with the wool, which are pretty interesting. I think altogether it will look better when it is all sewn. So, but yeah, that is the start of this design. I know you're probably like, why is he wearing this? I actually just put this on to do a interview for an at-home position because I'm trying to get a different job. I know that sounds crazy, but like I said, the retail world's kind of crazy and I'm not really interested in staying in it right now. So this one I'm trying to get is a home position, and also I don't think I mentioned it. I may have. I had another airline, not Delta, that wanted to interview me through video, so I went ahead and did that as well. Not in this outfit, of course, but a couple of days ago while I was filming the process of sewing. So yeah, that's pretty much the update. It was nice to take you along for the journey with the whole pants. And so I'm gonna move on and try to make either, I have a mask piece and I've got like a cloak piece. So there's like a lot of pieces within this one look. Unfortunately, I'm out of my fabric for draping, the muslin fabric. So I'm gonna have to go to the store and get some more of that real quick. But anyway, so yeah, I'm glad you got to be along for the ride to see how it goes. But bye for now.